これなら心情の鬼。
So I just came from watching Demon City. Demon City was released on Netflix Thursday, 27th February 2025, and it follows the story of Sakata, the immortal hitman who revives from the depths of hell and unleashes his inner demon to avenge his wife and daughter. Now, this film, I have so much to say about it. If you have not seen it, let me give you a small premise. The premise is that Shuhei Sakata is about to clean up his act for his family, and then the mysterious organization Kimengumi murders his wife and daughter. They pin the blame on him and they smear his name, and then he gets shot in the head. He miraculously survives but falls into a coma. 12 years later, the Kimengumi attack him again, but his dormant killer instinct awakens, setting him on an epic course of revenge. That's the basic premise, and most of that is in the trailer. It's not even that I'm spoiling anything. This film, the issue is that it's a bunch of films that you have seen before. That's what annoys me the most. When I started watching it, I had high hopes for it, but it just reminded me of other better films I've seen before. So in the opening, you get to see our main character killing a bunch of guys, and he goes after like this Yakuza type boss and killing a bunch of gang members. It reminded me so much of a film called The Shadow Strays. If you haven't watched The Shadow Strays, go watch The Shadow Strays. It's a really good movie on Netflix with much better action, and the opening of The Shadow Strays is just like the opening of this movie. Then, as I just said, our main character here, Sakata, gets shot in the head and he survives it. I am pretty sure I've seen a film just like that one before. A revenge movie of someone who just got shot in the head. I've seen a film exactly just like that one. And then later on, he has like this demon that won't let him die. It possesses him and allows him to go and acting revenge. Pretty sure I've seen a movie about a guy who gets possessed and he can't die and he goes around killing people. The only good thing about this film is that it has some decent action and the lead character is actually good. He's acted well. That's what I liked about him. Other than that, there's nothing else that I enjoyed about this film. It's pretty generic. If you are bored, you might like it, but everything it's doing has been done better in another film. The lead character gives off this John Wick vibe, but of course this film is not John Wick. So you ask yourself, why would you even watch this when you've already seen something like John Wick and this film is trying to give off a John Wick vibe? Out of 10, I'd give the movie a 5. 5 out of 10. It's not unwatchable. I just found it to be very generic. I thought that Netflix only makes generic American films, but it also makes generic films for Japanese audiences. I give it a 5 out of 10. Those are my honest thoughts. I wasn't very impressed by it. Apart from the lead and some action, everything else was just meh, generic. Even the villains, the Kimengumi guys, generic. I didn't find myself invested in them. Typically, whenever a film is very good, you even get invested in the villain. Think of any good movie you know, Matrix, Spider-Man, any film you know. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, you always like end up even being like intrigued by the villain or being invested by what the villain is doing. But here, I just found them to be sort of cartoonish, anime type villain and kind of generic. And I wasn't very invested. On the screen, I'll leave other reviews I've done for Netflix films. Tell me what you thought about the Demon City if you've seen it. I just thought it was this generic, like, version of The Crow meets Kill Bill, meets John Wick, meets The Shadow Strays. Go watch The Shadow Strays. It has much better action. You'll thank me if you have not seen The Shadow Strays. I'll see you in the next one.